everyone, I'm John with Roadkill Incorporated. I've been a MacBook refurbisher for 15 years, and I'm going to tell you about all the scams and shady business practices I've witnessed, and at the end I'll show you how to avoid them and get the device you need. There are millions of perfectly good secondhand iPads, iPhones, and MacBooks in the world. Reuse is a very good thing, and most people with a little work can find something that does everything they need for a third the price of new. But unfortunately, there are many negative stereotypes about buying refurbished, and it doesn't help when sellers actually do use unethical tactics. So let's shine a light on those. I personally no longer sell MacBooks to end users, so rest assured I'm not here to sell you stuff. I'm just here to give you the best advice I have. First, we've got to talk about what is used versus refurbished. Really, they're just words, so don't pay too much attention to them. Generally used could mean any condition, while refurbished indicates they've been cleaned up somewhat, tested, and put back into a presentable condition, but there are as many definitions as there are people. eBay requires you to sign an NDA to get into their refurbished program, so anyone who won't do that, like me, is stuck with the word used, although many used sellers have more highly refurbished products than the actual refurbished people. So it barely matters. At the end of the day, the seller owes you whatever specific details they promise you, so go by that. Don't get hung up on what you think refurbished means, because it's a rabbit hole. I'll use the word refurbished here for simplicity, but really I could be talking about either. Okay, with that out of the way, here we go. So by far, the biggest shady practice is to inflate prices to make a device seem like it's worth more than it is. And in the Apple world, that's so easy to do because devices across multiple years often look exactly the same and the model numbers are not obvious. Plus, Apple is the world's most successful brand. I'll tell you, when you have Apple for sale, people take out their wallets and start giving you money before you can even explain what they're buying. It's like they're in a trance. I have to stop them and say, hey, this is a 2015 laptop. You know you can't do X, Y, and Z with it, right? I could so easily just sell it to them, but then they'd go home and not be able to do what they want to do. Okay, so let's jump right in. These aren't real eBay MacBook pictures, but they should give you the idea. First thing that hits me here is that the pictures are just too good. That's a red flag. They know their ideal customer is ignorant of technical specs, so they draw people in by making everything look pretty. Second thing I see, turbo boost. I won't go into what that means because it's not important, but the thing is, MacBooks are not primarily advertised with their turbo boost speed by Apple or anyone else. So when a seller mentions that in the title and suppresses the real speed of the computer, you know something's up. It's absolutely a red flag. If you see turbo boost mentioned at all, run. Here's another one. They post a completely absurd price that you could buy a new computer for, then strike it out and declare a sale of half the price. This is nonsense. The computer would never sell anywhere near this inflated price. Even their sale price is a ripoff, so this is obviously a manipulative technique. Next, look at this listing. 26 sold and only one left. You better buy it before you lose out. This isn't necessarily a scam, but here's something to consider. On eBay, it's possible to list quantity of an item available, but then change the price over time. So for instance, I can list that I have 50 computers and I can set the price at $100. Once I sell a few, I can jack up the price to $500. And from that point on, the listing says 3 sold and gives the impression that the 3 went for $500 each when they actually sold for $100. I can then update the listing with more inventory, and as they sell, it just says more sold at that price, and it looks more and more credible. A buyer sees this and thinks, wow, 100 people bought at this price. Certainly I'm in good company, and this is the listing to buy. I really think eBay should fix this because it's such an easy way for shady sellers to give the wrong impression. Next, extended warranties. eBay only backs a fairly short return period, up to 60 days for used, I think, and I believe up to 2-year warranties for refurbished products. So if you see a 3-year warranty or a 5-year warranty, you're probably having to trust the seller on that. If something happens years down the road, eBay likely won't help you. And the thing is, a lot of these shady accounts aren't active for that long. Funny fact, I know that there are a small handful of individuals who own a ton of these different eBay accounts. I know that because one of them has repeatedly kept buying inventory from me over the years. During the pandemic in particular, he bought out all my inventory suddenly at a pretty high price, and I immediately noticed that he was selling what he was buying from me for 2 to 3 times more. I blocked his accounts, but the guy kept popping up with new accounts and buying again, and I only knew it was him because the shipping address was the same. But the point is, eBay accounts of shady sellers often go inactive, probably because of bad feedback and getting banned. And again, if the account is not active years down the road, good luck with that warranty. Oh, and speaking of feedback, be wary of repeated super great feedbacks. I've been on eBay for 25 years, and feedback this good only happens once in a long time. So if you see repeated strings of long, gushing, overflowingly positive feedbacks, be suspicious. I can't prove these are fake, but be wary. Back to more red flags. Lack of a model year or part number. eBay has gotten better about requiring this, but if there's no year showing, that's just super shady. Look at this one. It's a 2015, but the listing is trying to suggest it's a 2019 because it may have been sold until 2019. That's pure deception. Apple devices are often physically identical across many years. For example, the 2012 to 2017 MacBook Airs look exactly the same. So if a seller withholds the year, yet tells you a bunch of other nonsense, they may be selling you a 2012 and giving the impression of a newer model. So always ask for the year and specific model number. Or better yet, just find a seller who is not withholding the information and being deceptive. Amazingly, Amazon is bad at this. The date first available identifier in every listing is the date the listing was created, not the year the device was made. But because Amazon does not provide a field for year manufactured, this date first available field gives the impression that this is the year the device was produced. For instance, this is a 2012 MacBook, but the date first available identifier clearly gives the impression it's a 2018. There's no indication of 2012 anywhere on the listing. I believe this plays a part in why many devices sell far higher on Amazon. It's not an overt scam by Amazon sellers, but you can bet they don't mind that it helps them. This laptop, by the way, is going for $269 here on Amazon, but it regularly sells on eBay in the $100 range. Another red flag, any mention of expanded to current specs or even upgraded specs. An honest seller tells it like it is and does not try to inflate your perception of what you're buying. They shouldn't try to tell you it's the equivalent of a current machine. A RAM upgrade and a drive upgrade of an old computer does not make it equivalent to a newer computer. There's a lot more involved than that. Many shady sellers also install the newest available OS on devices, even though they don't support the current OS, and then call it up to current specs. But wait, how do they do that? Doesn't Apple prevent you from going beyond a certain OS on an old laptop? Well, yes, but there are tools that allow you to override that. It's a pretty cool tool, actually, and it's legitimate for hobbyists who want to push the limit, but sellers should not be putting an unsupported OS on an old laptop and passing it off as good. It's a hack, effectively, and a ticking time bomb, and if that OS ever becomes corrupted, the user gets stuck and Apple won't help. Plus, performance suffers on these machines. There's a reason Apple draws a line. The hardware just can't handle it. Something else to be aware of is another hack called a bypass. Many Apple devices floating around out there are locked or remote managed. Most of them aren't stolen, but they are basically bricked and unusable. Check out my other videos for details on those situations, but the important thing to realize here is these locked devices should never be sold as good. Shady refurbishers acquire these cheap, and then they do what's known as a bypass. They employ a software hack that bypasses the setup wizard and bypasses the Wi-Fi handshake that would normally brick the device. Again, like the OS hack I mentioned, a bypass is a useful tool in certain scenarios, but it's often misused by shady refurbishers who sell the bypassed devices as good. The thing is, if you reset one of these devices, the lock returns. It could happen tomorrow or in 2 years, but when it does, the user is stranded, and by then the seller is long gone. The good thing is you can test for locks. Whenever you acquire an Apple device, you should immediately wipe and reset it. If it's a MacBook, also reset PRAM and SMC when relevant. Then, when you step through the setup wizard and connect to Wi-Fi, it'll tell you if it's locked or not. If you're buying in person on Craigslist or Marketplace, insist on wiping the device in front of the seller and before you pay. In fact, before you even go to meet the person, give them the heads up that you're going to need to do that. The legit people won't care, and the scammers will ghost you, and that will save you a trip. In fact, you should be highly suspicious of any device that is already logged in. Any Apple device you're buying should be at the setup wizard when powered on, and even still, you should reset it again. Powering on to the desktop screen instead of the setup wizard could mean it's bypassed, or the seller might not know the user password, and although it looks usable, it might lock again when you reset it. Also, be super wary if there is additional software installed. If the seller tries to entice you by saying there's tons of good stuff on the device, just run. There's no way that this kind of software is legal, and it's just a shady selling tactic. It's funny. I've been aware of traveling salesmen who go to a city, set up a bogus Craigslist ad at a super high price, and then set up a real ad at a lower price. When you meet up with them, they show you the high price listing, claiming it's someone else, in order to convince you that their lower price ad is a great deal, even though it's three times what the item is worth. This shady seller will likely also be selling you a bypass device with pirated software, and oh, a colorful laptop case to cover all the dents, and also a super colorful desktop image to make the screen scratches invisible. By the time you notice anything wrong, they're off to the next city. Here's another crazy scam. Many Apple laptops have dual graphics processors, and on certain models, it's common for one of the two to fail, making the laptop unusable. Shady sellers buy these up super cheap, use a hack to disable the bad GPU, and then sell the laptop as good with only one working graphics processor. It's relatively hard to detect, and most buyers don't have any idea. Resets can undo some of these patches, in which case the defect is revealed, usually in the form of garbled video or just a black screen. Okay, so that's most of the scams I'm aware of. Pretty depressing stuff, isn't it? To be perfectly honest, though, it's not as bad as it sounds. And all you need to combat 99% of this is the right knowledge. Shady refurbishers take advantage of your Apple fandom, your eagerness to buy, and your ignorance about the devices in question. Armed with the right information and a willingness to be firm and ask questions, most of these scams disappear like an apparition. When looking for a refurbished device, you need to know if a device is capable of doing what you want to do with it, right? Sounds basic, and it is, but most people make a purchase without considering that question. They assume any device will do anything they need, and when you're buying refurbished, that's not always the case. So here's the scoop. The apps you'll run need at least a certain version operating system, and the operating system needs a certain year computer. The apps will never tell you what year computer they need, they'll only tell you what operating system they need. So the first step, ask yourself what apps do you need to use? Make a list. Let's say the app you'll need is Pages, the Apple version of Microsoft Word. So let's figure out the system requirements of Pages, the OS it needs. It's available in the App Store, so let's find it there. Here it is. It says it requires Mac OS 13 Ventura. That's the operating system, so you need a computer capable of running Ventura. Here's the list of Apple operating systems, and as of today in 2024, Sonoma is the most current OS, and Ventura is only one back. So if you want to run Pages, you need a computer that's fairly new. Okay, so the first step is done. We know that Pages needs Ventura. But the next question is, what computer will Ventura run on? How old of a computer can you buy and still run the apps you need? Let's Google Ventura system requirements. Here they are. It's an Apple page. So these are the MacBooks that will run Ventura. All pretty new machines. So what does this tell us? It tells us that when you're looking at refurbished computers, the computer needs to be capable of running Ventura because Pages requires Ventura. Okay, so now let's go back to one of the listings. Luckily, this one isn't as bad as it could be. It does give you the year, and it says 2015. So just by being 2015, though, you can look at the list of Ventura-supported devices, and you know this machine is not suitable for Pages. In other words, this particular computer would not be sufficient to run an app that you need to run. So this is not the computer for you. Let's get more practice by running through another app really quickly. Let's say you want to run Zoom. You're going to be doing some Zoom meetings. So Google Zoom system requirements. Zoom may not be in the App Store, so we'll Google it instead. It says Zoom requires OS 10.11. Let's look at the list of operating systems. 10.11 is El Capitan. That's a pretty old OS. So now let's look at the listing again. It says it runs Monterey. As you can see in the list, Monterey is much newer than El Capitan. So I'm not saying to buy from this seller, but this computer would in fact be suitable to run Zoom. This same process works for iPads and iPhones. Mobile apps require a minimum version iOS, and you need an iPad or an iPhone that will run that iOS. Here's a different scenario for you. Let's say this was a 2015 MacBook, but the listing claimed it had Sonoma loaded, the most current OS. Well, if you Google Sonoma system requirements, you will see that it does not support 2015 MacBooks. So what does that mean? That means the computer has been hacked and loaded with an unsupported OS. So that's how it's done. Finding the system requirements of everything is your main tool. Armed with the knowledge of what you need, you can ask the right questions and discard listings that are obviously withholding the necessary information. Here's another trick. Let's see what this laptop normally sells for. Because it's not enough to be the right laptop, you want it for a reasonable price, right? Go to Advanced Search in eBay, click Sold Items, and type 2015 MacBook Pro 2.8 GHz. 2.8 is the real speed, not the turbo speed. Click Search and search by Recently Sold. What you see then is a list of computers that have recently sold and at what price. Now, it's important to note that these machines are not all the same and they will vary in condition and specs, but they're roughly similar, and it's clear that the average price here is nowhere near the listing we were looking at. So, I mean, hey, do you want to pay 250 or do you want to pay 5 to 600 for the same thing? I just want to mention a few other quick tips before we're done. When you get the device, you can use the free Coconut Battery app to check the battery. This is my personal battery. What this is saying is that my battery has 76% of its original capacity. In other words, it has degraded 24% since new. Not great. Refurbished devices should really have a battery over the 80% mark, so I would not consider this an acceptable battery unless the seller had stated that as its condition. You can use this knowledge to push back if the battery is not as described. You can also connect an iOS device to the computer, and it's visible in this iOS tab here on Coconut Battery. Really, really great app. One other thing you can do is ask for the serial number of the device you're considering buying. There are legitimate reasons why eBay sellers might not give it to you, but on Craigslist or Marketplace, I would always ask. You can then go to everymac.com, click on Lookup, plug the serial in, and see the full specs of the device. This is great because you don't have to wonder what you're getting. Sometimes used sellers don't even know what they're selling, but with the serial, you'll have all the information. Lastly, I'd say use PayPal whenever possible because PayPal is really good about buyer protection. And whenever you send a payment, include a detailed description of all aspects of what's going on. PayPal can't help you if the transaction doesn't even state what it's for. So that's it. I hope this helps you or at least gives you a few pointers. I know I've made buying a refurbished Apple device sound like an intimidating and possibly scary prospect, but when you're smart about it, it's really not. And the benefit here is you can get a device that does everything you need for a third the price of new. And best of all, you're making use of a device that already exists in the world, instead of encouraging rampant consumerism and the production of more and more and more. And that's really a good thing. Thanks for listening.